And they're going to be passing on the Braum that's been played out for 2 games. I think Winter definitely has been showing really good sign of rotation and providing enough cover. But now going on Enchanters here, they're going to be a little bit squishier. And it's going to be the signature Kai'Sa for Sagi. So missing out on that opportunity to snatch that Varus away, they think that, okay, bottom lane doesn't seem to be the biggest of issue now that they can try to sustain. Now Olaf goes over to Divine Esports. Does that mean that they will actually get better sort of entries going into early objectives?
What I like and what I don't like from BJD right now, right? Picking up this dominant bottom lane matchup in Kai'Sa and Nami tells me something about what they were saying between the games, right? It's Saki and Winter saying, we can carry the game, give us the carry pick, give us the chance to perform, and we will do it here. And that's probably the reason why they opted for these more carry-oriented pocket picks over the power of something like Renekton, over the power of something like Varus.
Oh boy. Fiora
Not
once
again. I just have no words, man.
I think this is going to be definitely a tough matchup still for the Fiora, especially when you have a Renekton that could easily just chunk you out with all 3 of their basic skills out there. Now, what's going to change for Divine Esports is the mid lane with the Fizz coming up in effect. So
really good counter pick here.
This is tough. I think it's definitely going to be forcing the Ziggs to play a little bit more defensively once he hits level 5.
Yep. The big question to me here is, what is the draft from BJD? You know, the saying, right? Fool me once, shame on you. What happens when you fool the same team twice, thrice, 4 times? I think this is the 5th time already. They're running the similar draft back, this time with strong side top, strong side bot. What's the play here? I couldn't tell you, Skimmy.
I think we've just broken Omo because they've gone to the blue side. They've banned away some of the champions that we've said may just be oppressive enough and said, look, we're going to focus on top side. Have you Renekton? But I don't know, had they just revealed their hand too early on by locking in that bot side and saying the Ziggs could be a flex, but here you go. You can get that counter pick. You can have that Fizz. Well, their tournament lifeline is in the bag. Can they hold on? We're going to find out as we throw to our casting team.
Of course, with Divine at match point, the 2 dragons will have no other choice but to fight fire with fire. TJ, earlier, you mentioned this Fiora, and we see that again. I feel like this time around, we're gonna have the same emotion. Yep, definitely. That's TJ right now.
I don't want to look at drafts anymore. I don't want to look at drafts anymore, Yuka. If there's any universe in which I have to look at one of those drafts again, I'm just gonna get even more sad.
I feel like you can't get any sadder than that. Come on, man. But yeah, it was really a good draft in favor of Divine. But game hasn't started yet. This is me being optimistic. What do you think are the chances or the things BERJAYA could do to push this to a possible game number 4?
I mean, they did just get really outdrafted here. I was with Omo. I was riding that roller coaster with Omo and Contra where they were like, okay, blue side, they ban out the Divine picks. They're going to first pick Renekton. They've got an opportunity here. And they don't first pick Renekton. They first pick the Ziggs, which has been all right for them, but not good. And I don't know.
I have no idea as well. But my idea right now is just Chili marching his way into the mid lane. Now Divine there. They'll just really come together at this point. So, like 4 champions hiding out there.
Yeah, they don't have the dominant early game on BJD. So it's not the level 1 end game that it was earlier. Although Coyote, interesting choice there. So let's talk about their draft, like as optimistically as possible, just for you, Yuka.
Thank you.
BERJAYA Dragons have what I like to call the kettle comp, the cauldron comp, because you can throw down the Jarvan Ultimate, the Cataclysm, and just kind of get cooking. You can throw Nami bubbles in there. You can throw Chili Ziggs bombs in there. You can generally have a pretty good time if you can catch key targets inside the Jarvan Ultimate. So watch for that. I also think it's worth noting that Sagi and Chili scale very well into mid-late game. Kai'Sa will be able to counter for raw damage, especially on a dive. If we can see those very fast 5v5 team fights out of BERJAYA, I guess I believe in them. But I'm just worried that they'll never get there, especially with, you know, the assassin threat of something like Coyote.
And actually, it's a race on who gets to scale earlier between Kai'Sa or Varus. And looking back in game number 1 and 2, looks like Hope 1 does have the small advantage here.
You do have a very important bottom lane here for kind of the first time. And I'm very curious as to where Syndicate is going to go after killing this Scuttle. Because we've seen really, really aggressive priority towards top lane 2 games in a row from BERJAYA. And 2 games in a row, Asilla hasn't been able to do much with that prior. This game, he's playing into a Renekton, a character that is pretty impossible to knock out of the game. Renekton's always going to be able to do something in the mid game. So I really actually want BERJAYA to send their early game jungle ganks down bottom.
It's like
give an advantage over Hope.
like that is a possible thing that they will do. But Quay being caught out by Winter, they're still not going to secure with kill. Syndicate does get better end of the ebb and flow. But so far, it's a pretty quiet map for BERJAYA. Olaf is in too
We have
deep,
a fold here on Len. We have a fold here on Len. He's been caught out.
Now that is going to be the poke coming out from Asilla. Catechism will be sent out, but it's not going to be enough at the very least. The first kill. First blood goes over straight into Syndicate. With that, Chum the Waters has been used, and J4 paid that kill with his life.
Okay.
Okay.
That trade is kind of null and void. I think Syndicate gets the slightly better end of that because he farmed more jungle. You can see he has a very minor gold lead. And also because this Olaf isn't going to get to early gank any of the lanes. So I don't know. Maybe that's an advantage for BERJAYA, but I'm just kind of bemused by the whole affair, Yuka.
I can't see you right now, but I kind of feel your frustration there, man.
I mean, it doesn't really mean much. Syndicate overextends to get the kill. I think that it would have been much better off if Syndicate had gotten the damage they got. You forced the flash from Len. You can just end the play there for BERJAYA. You want more, but it's all right.
That's a lot of minions towards the side of BERJAYA.
Yeah.
Now, Bubble had been sent out. Hope one very, very low, but will it be enough? Apparently, it won't be because Kai'Sa still gets taken down at the expense of Varus' life, though. Ragnarok has been used, but Len was just forced to jump away.
And what I like about this, Yuko, is that's also a play that has no tangible advantage for either team. So it's still a bad dead even in the game state, as both AD carries trade their lives for each other. It's very well mechanically played by Sagi to get out of what was a dangerous situation. But we'll see where we go here as BERJAYA still dead even on gold. Do have a late timing to this Drake, and we'll probably pivot towards Rift Herald.
The lead will be seen right now because again you have Coyote with the Rabadons available, and Divine Esports still gonna get this Mountain Drake. They want to get those shields in.
And Mountain Drake over to Divine. BERJAYA will pick up the Rift Herald. Game pretty much dead even. A 1k gold lead is on the board. That's just from taking the Drake essentially. I promise you it will vanish once BERJAYA deploy the Rift Herald if they get value from it. And that's why, generally, Rift Herald is considered the more important early game objective. But BERJAYA haven't always gotten very much from it. They did find success from it in game number 2. They spectacularly wasted it in game number 1. We'll see. If they use it well, they have a gold lead here.
Possible 2v1 up at the Baron lane side. Asilla under turret. Here comes Coyote to the side. The Vitals has been seen, but Asilla will still not pop the Grand Challenge. He did see Coyote earlier, still available with the Ignite, so it looks like Asilla will just try to hold his ground.
This looks really defensive, Yuka. A lot of these BERJAYA Dragons players kind of haven't crossed the river this game. They're really banking on the Kai'Sa Ziggs late game.
Still waiting for Chili. I'm actually waiting for a really good play from Chili. Sagi trying to survive that. Making for the bomb has been thrown out. Len very, very low. Saturn has been used. Tidal Wave being sent out. Coyote being caught out as well. He gets stunned, and with that, right on cue. I was looking for a good play from Chili. With that double kill, looks like he's A-okay now.
Now press the advantage, BERJAYA. Spend this Rift Herald in mid. You know you have a player advantage on the map. They should deploy it alongside the wave. Charge the mid turret right now.
Yeah. Hey, Chili. Okay. Dada. Okay.
It's too late. They've missed the window.
All right.
So the next objective to use this Rift Herald for is going to be the next Drake. You can use the Rift Herald to drag Prio to, on the next Drake, force them to defend against the Rift Herald. You can get the Drake pretty easily. So keep your eye on that. That's the justifiable thing BERJAYA could have saved it for. I really do think getting a mid turret there would have been pretty massive.
So or to use post earlier, but looks like it was just Tanex being able to bait out as much skills as he can out of Isilla. Will we see a 1v1? Looks like Syndicate does jump straight into Coyote's trap. Very low, does have Winter, does have Sagi the back lines. Coyote flashing out, and Hope One will not try to do the gamble. Now at top, at the Baron lane side, Vitals again has been proc, but looks like it will be a free turret for the side of Divine Esports. Recrell being someone down here in at the Dragon lane side.
They do get this turret, so it's 1 for 1, and this speaks to the priorities of BERJAYA this game. They're willing to, eat the mid lane. They don't take advantage of the mid lane Rift Herald opportunity. The second they see 3 players up top, BERJAYA go, that's fine, we expect to lose top lane. We're going to get Sagi out ahead.
Peyton Rain will hurt a lot so far in 7 minutes in, but Coyote will be pretty much alive. Isilla still holding his ground up at the Brown lane side. Still though, so far it has the advantage toward Divine Esports. Remember, game number 2, BERJAYA Dragons was not able to get any dragon. Now, let's see, will it happen yet again? Because again, they could be the possible team that will be out in the C championships. Winter, okay, that was a hard poke coming out from Hope One.
Yeah, this would be the first team actually eliminated from the SEA championships. So nobody wants to be that first. BERJAYA, just by quirk of the schedule, would be. This dragon fight, very important for them. I do think they have a team fight advantage right now, provided Sagi finds value. All of the eggs are in the Kai'Sa basket. Does Sagi manage to deliver them?
Bombs being thrown out by Ziggs, but looking at the Baron lane, Tanex did use his dominance, was able to push Isilla back. He's very, very low. Again, Tanex being able to win a bit that duel. Roots coming out from Chile. He does pop in with the Hourglass. Still pretty much alive, but
Drake's
that's already a lot of bars being taken down. Drake is up. They don't want to get the objective. Mega Inferno bomb being thrown out. Tidal Wave not connecting. Flag and Drago right at his face, but J4 still gets taken out. Ragnarok being popped by Len, and it looks like BERJAYA, they do not want to fight this just yet. That was hurtful. Another hurtful poke from Hope One.
Divine play that so well, dragging the center of that fight towards the mid lane, away from the advantaged bottom lane.
Targetable, Grand Challenge being popped. Isilla looks like he does not want to go with the steal. Ocean Drake going over to Divine Esports. Number 2 Dragon in their pockets.
And by prioritizing Chile, by denying Sagi a 5v5 team fight, Divine are able to play to their advantages. They have longer range, they have better poke. And so they're not interested in grouping for 5. They're not interested in facing a team that has Ziggs, Jarvan, and Kai'Sa on it in an organized skirmish. Instead, they just spread out across the map, throw out some Varus arrows, throw out some assassin dive, see what happens, knowing that BERJAYA don't have the sustain to take that kind of fight.
Speaking of not having sustain, if you saw the little 1v1 there, Coyote flashed in and actually got the kill on Isilla. So now, 5 minutes before the Baron is up, Fiora will be a bit late in with the objective take. Still though, you have Chile and Winter here in the mid lane side. Hope One being very good, keeping his distance, just making sure that BERJAYA will be nowhere near him. Now both teams wants to assert dominance in the Baron's pit. Sagi still has Killer Instinct. That is going to be the ultimate coming out from J4. Pokes coming out from Hope One. Yet again, Killer Instinct in, able to get the kill onto Olaf. But Kuei receives a lot of damage. Double kill going over to Kai'Sa. Here comes the teleport. Winter trying to get away, but you have a Crocodile right behind you. Chili greets Tanex as well. Stun is going to come through. He does not care. Did use the satchel charge, but looks like Tanex received quite the damage from the turret.
A little bit of a hero play coming out from Winter. You do see the demonstration of what I was talking about there as BERJAYA do finally get a fair team fight, and they can go even at it. Sagi leaves a little early. He just kind of gets an opening kill and then goes down towards the mid lane, leaving Tanex to rampage amongst his teammates. But the point is still proven, and I think especially to Divine.
No, good repose coming out from Isilla. He was able to win that 1v1. Looks like this Fiora getting that kill. Okay, I'm gonna give plus 2%. of my yes. Okay. Fiora is pretty good, but yeah,
Plus
just in that
2% of your
of my trust.
Fiora award.
Yes.
Okay. What do I need to do to earn 2% of a Fiora award?
Get a quadra kill.
Oh no.
Here we have another kill, possibly toward the side of Syndicate. He gets locked in. Olaf, well, Len was forced to use Flash. They're also forced to use Ragnarok. A lot of resources being used. And BERJAYA, they could possibly push in the mid lane side or push at the Baron lane side. Some of the waters has been used onto Chili. Does jump out, uses Flash, but still under turret.
My
Divine
God.
Esports, they got that kill.
And Sagi can't go in now because Chili's just been assassinated, which is Divine's target prior, which has been really good. They're only taking risks onto the Ziggs who can't escape their pressure.
Idle wave. Okay, Coyote was able to avoid that, given that he was very, very low. There's a ward placed on the Baron side by Divine Esports. Hope what? We talked about this. Hope 1, the longer the game is, the harder he scales. So if BERJAYA keeps this up, they need to be very wary of this arrow. But you know what, Isilla? He has a sword. Grand Challenge has been popped, but Hope 1 still pretty much alive.
Hope 1 will survive. We have Drake coming up, an Infernal Drake, third of the game in just 20 seconds. So Divine are resetting across the board. BERJAYA, my question for them is the same as it was last Drake. Can they leverage Sagi? As you saw there in the middle of the map, Divine are doing a really good job of avoiding team fights where they need to fight into the Kai'Sa. The second the Kai'Sa pulls up, Divine back away. BERJAYA really have one chance to throw a Hail Mary to win this game. They need to win it through their Kai'Sa at a 5,000 gold deficit. And Divine are opening up the river, letting BERJAYA make a mistake here.
It's a 4v5. BERJAYA should be able to get this because Fizz is split pushing up at the Baron lane side with that stuns coming through for the side of BERJAYA. Catechism has been used, Tidal Wave being sent out as well. Look at the very low lifestyle, but still Divine Esports gets their hands on this juicy objective. Nami becoming Sushi, Syndicate with the flag and jag, but the double kill. Aside from Sushi, you have Fizz, another fish, getting that kill. Rampage now for Coyote. Isilla, the only one left alive, just had no other choice but to allow the turret to say goodbye.
And Divine take the turret down bottom, turn onto the Baron off the back of that team fight. And a beautiful team fight it was. Divine, as I talked about at the beginning of the team fight, just walk away from the Drake, let BERJAYA Dragons walk into the Drake pit, and then come in behind them. Say, okay, you're now trapped inside this pit. You have nowhere to go. This Kai'Sa's not going to be able to maintain a distance, get away from the carries. If she chooses to flash over the wall, she's going to be out of this fight. So she has to stay in close range. We have a Brand, we have an Olaf, we have a Renekton. That kind of close range brawl is exactly the kind of fight Divine want to take, and they engineer it perfectly.
It was just to their lead and their advantages. Speaking of advantages, looks like everything on the board right now just favors Divine. Dragon, gold, even kill counts and turret takedowns. BERJAYA only able to get one turret. Now Divine Esports, they're trying to run the 1-3-1 lineup. Tanex being able to get the last mid lane outer turret, and Len storming the Baron lane side. BERJAYA, they're now locked into their very own base.
Oh dear, BERJAYA, this may be the eulogy. Divine marching in, 5,000 gold advantage for the game.
Cataclysm also the Tidal Wave plus the Mega Inferno Bomb, but apparently it's still a double kill going over to Fizz. Make that a triple. Now Tanex in front. He doesn't care. He's even going straight to the well. Minions in the base. You have the kill going over to Kai'Sa, but still Divine Esports finishes the series at 3-0.